Okay, so what we were discussing yesterday, you remember?
Yeah, uh, we completed that one. What do we call the data
Yeah, so
sources
we were
VLAN.
looking into the matrix report, and then we kick-started with transpose. In the meanwhile, we also looked into analytical indicator, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. So today we were
So
supposed to see the transpose report.
yes, we will try to create a transpose report today.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So yesterday we were looking into what is the transport report, how the data looks like on the transport report, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's actually interchanging the rows and columns.
Yeah.
So now today we will try to create a transpose report for using the following fields.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are going to actually create a compare team report, and then we are going to use the transpose report type, and then we are going to use the my direct reports data source. And these are
Okay.
the fields that we will be adding into the report definition.
Okay.
Okay. So the task that we should use is create custom report. I'm going to type as compare team. So you can see there are multiple options wherein I'm going to select transpose.
Okay.
So I'm going to uncheck this to see if this data source is indexed or non-indexed. So you can click on this related action and see if this is a standard or an index data source. So you can
Standard.
look into, yeah. So I'm going to select my direct reports, and you can see it is not checked, right? If I change this to, so now suppose if I am using index data source, you can see it will automatically be checked.
Yeah.
So we can see that the primary object is worker, and this is a standard data source type, and we can also see the transpose report type. So the structure of the definition would look different when compared to other report types. So you will see a column
Okay.
heading field here, and then you will be having the row field, wherein in the matrix report you will see rows and columns. In advanced, it will be like columns. So there are multiple options that we have for each of the report definition. So in this, we
Okay.
are just going to add the rows. In the rows
Okay.
also, we have two options. One is field, the row type, and the other one is group. So if in
Yeah.
case if I wanted to group the specific list into a particular title, then I can do. For example, if I'm going to show personal information, as well as if I'm going to show salary information, like that, we can group the data.
Okay.
So let's start with grouping first. So I am going to name this as personal information.
Okay.
In the personal information, I'm going to add employee ID. I'm going to add full name. So you'll find a lot of full name. Let me add preferred full name. Before that, I also wanted to display the employee photo.
Okay.
So we have to search for the field, and then we can add photo. So by looking into the related actions, you will see what this object is. You can see it's an image object, related object, and what it the description of the field as well. This returns the photo of the worker.
Yeah.
Right? And now let me add another group as job information. Then I'm going to add job title. Also add some information on the job. And finally, we will add another group for compensation. So do you have access to the tenant?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I actually thought like I will ask you to do this activity,
Okay.
but yeah, no problem, I can do. So maybe you can also try the same activity.
Yeah, I will do that.
Yeah.
It's just that I just need a recording so that I just want to see it again. In the first attempt, I was just, even though I'm trying to grasp everything, there is a chance I'm missing a little, maybe due to the overexcitement or something.
Or excitement.
Yeah, it feels like I just know. Once you are creating a report, it feels like okay, it's fine, I can do it. So once the class is done, daily I'm trying to build a report. Somehow I'm just being stuck in between. I don't know
Okay.
why. So that's why I just want a recording so that once the recording is going on, I just want to try all the reports you're showing me, like even a simple sample report.
Yeah. Okay. So now
Yeah.
you can see I have added the groups. Also, I have added the fields.
Okay.
Okay. And this data source doesn't have a built-in prompts, right?
Okay.
You can see there are no, does not contain any built-in prompts, right?
Okay.
Which
Mm-hmm.
means there are no mandatory prompts here. Even if I can validate by checking this, you will see there are no prompts here. And I haven't shared this with anyone.
Okay.
Okay. And also you can verify the security, who has access to this data source. So there are
Okay.
99 plus 100 plus users have access to this. We have to check. So since it is a my direct reports, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whoever runs it, it will show their direct reports by default.
Okay.
So as a manager, if a manager tries to run this report, it will show the manager's direct reports.
Okay.
Yeah, so that it will have a secured interface. So now we are going to try running it. So now are you able to see it's in a very clean way, like it decompose the rows into columns and columns into rows. So in this way, it will give a quick view for a manager to see a comparison between the team. That's why we have made it as a compare team.
Okay.
So like if a manager wanted to see, okay, this person is a workday consultant, this is a chief, how much this person is earning, like that. So it's a dummy data, so that's why data is not populating. But however, the manager will be able to see quickly and do a comparison as well. This will be very much useful for a manager during the performance cycle
Okay.
to analyze and see how the team members are, etc. So the other good point is this report can also be converted into a table view. So there is an option that you can see. If I click on this table view, this report will be converted into table view also,
Okay.
right? But once you move into table view, I think you will not be able to get back to the other view.
Oh, so we should close the report and then open it.
So you should rerun the report, yes. So we have to rerun it again. Yeah. And you can export this into Excel or PDF. Let's try PDF. See how it has come.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me know if you wanted to try the same report in the tenant, and I can give you like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, would you like to try?
Yes.
Okay. Let me give you this. These are the fields and data sources that you can use.
Okay. Just these 6?
Sorry?
You added a lot more earlier, like the employee ID name.
Yeah.
So you 1, 2, 3, 4. Just you need these 6 fields.
Yeah, just add 6 fields.
Okay.
Yeah,
How
tell
do I
me.
show this to you? It looks a little different from yours.
Okay. Would you like
Yeah.
to share?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay. It looks same.
Okay. Maybe
What different?
I have fewer fields. I just saw you have a large report, big one.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, it depends on the users, and that's okay.
Okay.
No problem.
So this looks fine.
Yes. So get inside the definition of the report. Just click on the compare team one. Yeah, the name of the report. Just click the name. Yeah, you will get into the definition.
Okay.
Okay. So mostly this field first name and plus last name, right? People do prefer either preferred name or legal name.
Okay. We can change here as well.
I mean, you can edit and change, but not directly. So you have to edit and change. But that's fine. I mean, I'm just letting you know.
Sure.
Maybe in the real scenario, they might ask.
Okay. The legal name
Okay.
or a preferred name. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. So thank you. And let me Could you please give me back the presenter?
Oh,
Yeah, I can make myself presenter, no problem.
okay.
Let me know if you're able to view my screen.
Yes, I am.
So now we are good with transports. Let's move on to this search report,
Okay.
right? So what is a search report? In simple terms, search report are similar to Google, the
Okay.
Google search. Okay, how you search for data and how you get information on Google. Like in Google, if you go and search, you will have multiple options like web, images, videos, etc. Right? Multiple tabs that
Yeah.
you get.
Mhm.
Also, on the Google search, you will also find some filters. Like you can even more do a drill down and see, maybe like if you want to search something in India, or if you want to search something in a specific state as well, like that you can do a further search as well, right? Based
Yeah.
on the filters, the data will automatically change, right?
Okay.
So you can go into detail. So similarly, the search report will also work, right? Whenever if you are giving this option to a user, they can go and search, and they can do a filter option, and they can do in detail as well.
Okay.
Basically to sort and drill the data as per our requirement. It's like narrow down the search, right?
Yeah.
So a search report type gives you the ability to build custom report that show facet filters. So all these left side columns are called facet filters. This
Okay.
helps to narrow down the search, right? The filters will obviously help us to narrow down the search, and that you can see on the left side. And then this resulting report is like existing find workers report. I can show you the find workers report, which will resemble the similar way, right? In which the search results are on the right side. So you can see these are the search results. These are the facet filters.
Okay.
So, and it dynamically depending on which facet you select on the left. So whatever you select here, you can see it has been selected as consultant. So these are consultant. If I change it to a
Okay.
different option, it will also change.
Yeah.
So this will normally enables us to define the facet filter displayed including their name and order. So you can also define which order it should, whether it should be in alphabetical order or something like that, right? And
Okay.
whether if we wanted to display this image on the right side, or we can also show it without an image. But the key thing on the search report is you can use only indexed data source,
Okay.
right? You cannot use standard data source. If you remember, couple of slides back, we would have seen when we were discussing about the index data source. You can see there are two report types which uses indexed. We cannot use standard,
Okay.
right? So search report is one among them, wherein we have to use index
Index.
data source.
Okay.
Let's go to the tenant, and then we'll see how search report works. So what prefix we should use for searching the report? Do you remember?
Question mark.
So question mark will give us all the prefixes that are available in Workday.
Yeah.
For searching a specific report, we should use RDS.
RDS is for data source, right?
RDS is for data source. RD is for
RD
report
is for a
definition.
report. Okay. Yeah. So RD.
Yes. So let me see. RDS is for data source, and custom report is RD.
Yeah.
Now let's search RD find worker. So we are not getting any results. The reason is this will help us to search the custom report, right?
Okay.
This find workers is a Workday delivered report. See here, this
Yeah.
is a workday delivered report. That's why it's not showing up on the custom report prefix.
Okay. Does the workday delivered report have any prefixes? Any different
I don't.
prefixes?
Let us see. We normally don't search for it. I think we do not have anything specific for delivered.
Okay.
We do not have such. So in other way, I would suggest to use standard report. If you search for standard report, you can see workday standard reports.
Okay.
Display all the reports that are workday standard, workday delivered. See, both are same. The names are different. I mean, both the meaning is same. Like workday standard or workday delivered are same. So now you will see there are 4,000. It's also counting the rows. However, it has been given by categories. So the number of rows that you have based on that report also you have. Right? You can also find the report. You can export this and then you can keep it. Wherever you see Espresso, that report cannot be.
Okay.
That report cannot be
Edited.
copied, edited.
Copied
Right?
and edited. Yes.
Yes. Only report writer
Yes.
report can be used. Okay. So let's look into this find workers.
Yeah.
So before I was explaining you something yesterday on the description, right? The help text and the prompt description. Let me quickly show you that. See, wherever you see workday delivered report, most of the cases they would have mentioned the description about that report. So these are all some of the key information that the report writer should follow because we do not know whether. So for example, now you can see around 4,000 plus reports are there. Just imagine if you do not know. So let's take these two reports. Time on tenure track, time on tenure. Both look same. Both looks familiar, right? Similar. But we do not know which one we should run. In that way, we have to look into the description of the report. See, this says quantity of academics on this tenure track and how long it has been since the tenure track started. Here it says quantity of the tenure track and duration of time until their probationary end date. So both are different.
Different.
But the name looks similar.
Yeah.
Right. So this description would help the user to decide what is the right report that they can look into.
Okay. So when we are creating a report, we can also provide description to that.
Yes, definitely we have to provide. See, those are all part of report governance and maintenance.
Okay.
Nobody will ask to add, but it's a practice.
Okay.
It's a good practice that we should follow.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that is not a mandatory field though. It's up to the report writer to define. Maybe to make it even more, understandable.
Yeah.
See, when I click this, you can see the report is actually looking like a search box, right?
Yeah.
It's actually displaying data like a search box. So there are 2,338 results that has come on the find workers. So if I wanted to narrow down my search, let's see that these are all facet filters. This left side index is called facet filters. Right side is called data, the search results.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I wanted to see all active and inactive long-term relocation areas should be like, let's take North America.
Okay.
So the moment when I click, you can see the data got changed.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the long-term and inactive, active and inactive long-term area relocations, right? So now sometimes you might ended up adding multiple filters. So let's say I'm going to add an additional condition. I'm going to say that I want people in this age group, 41 to 50. So again, it got narrowed down, right? And again, if I wanted to do something on this, maybe let's take a different one. Okay, let's say, I think I wanted to see something different as well. So let's say that I want people in this specific cost center only.
Okay.
By the time when you start doing, it's actually narrow downing your search, right?
Yeah.
So every time when you go and do this, it will take it will be a time it will take more time for you to do all these filters, right? Because every time you have to
Yeah.
go and select, and only then you will be able to narrow down. Once you do so, and then you can see there is a save option here, current search save. You can name.
Okay.
Let me make it as NA relocation. And then what is the cost center we have choose? 32300.
So when we are saving this, we can, if we want to rerun the same set of facet filters, we can just go into the saved searches and just run the report, right?
Perfect. Yes. See, already there is one manage my, and this one we have added, right?
Yeah.
So let me try to rerun this report. Now you can see there is a saved search. You can quickly click this one. See?
Yes.
So this is actually find workers, right? So in my experience, what I've seen is mostly people use this for internal job posting, right?
Okay.
If in an organization, if an employee wanted to look into the available job postings, right, that they wanted
Yes.
to apply for. So
Yeah.
for example, if I wanted to search, let's ignore the data that we are seeing. However, let's look into the further filters. Okay. So here it will say country or region. This is actually a region. So we'll say this is a region. Then I wanted to say I wanted to look into North America. I'm looking for an opportunity in North America, right? And then I'm
Yes.
going to say I think let's see if functional field is there. And I wanted to see whether it should be a regular one. I don't want to get into a temporary job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see if we have function so that we can decide whether if I wanted to get into IT or HR or admin, etc. Right? We have multiple functions. So that field we haven't enabled here, but yeah, I'm just telling you an option, like we can probably choose those function, and then we can search for that respective job, and also it will take us to the job posting page, and then we can apply for the job as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So that there are different ways that we use. One, to find the workers and then scrutinize, or we can use it for internal job posting.
Okay.
Let's try to copy this report. So this report is a report writer type. That's why we were able to copy.
Copy it.
Normally on the Expresso report, you will not find the related actions, right? You can either only run. You
Yes.
will not find this copy option at all.
Yeah.
Let me copy this. See, this is a indexed one. You cannot uncheck. You cannot change this. Sorry, right?
Okay.
So when I copy this report, it will help us to see. Sometimes you do not know how this report works, right? I mean, we will not be able to know what and all fields that has been used. It is standard reports. In this way, even for our analysis, we can copy and see how this report has been built, and we can take this as a reference to start constructing a new report. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you can see the fields are very limited. Let me also parallelly run this report. So you can see this information, it's not showing up like achievable level. All those things are not showing up here, right? This data
Yeah.
is actually from the data. So this information, this field information are actually the data that we are seeing, the search results that we are seeing out. Let me try to filter. Okay, so then it will be easy to understand if we have a photo and structuring. So you can see there is an image, name. This is the title,
Job title.
location, job title and location, etc. Right? So, sorry, this is an organization, and then location and the job title. So you can see worker, organization, location, profile, and photo. Photo, we have to mention it as an image field, otherwise it will not show the image, right? It will only show as a blank one, like a field it will show. And then you can also define whether if it is a primary or a different option. So I have mentioned it as a primary results field so that everything will be based on this results, right? Now you will wonder where this search information is available. So this search, this left side index is called facet search, right? That is a term that Workday use, facet search. So not only in the search report, even in the advanced report, you can add a facet filter provided that report is a indexed data source, right? So we will get into advanced. You can see there is a facet options, right? Here I am adding all these facet filters. So whatever you see here on the left side, you will see the same data here. Age group, gender, right? So I'm saying action instant selection field would be worker. So we are taking worker as an action field. And then we can also do a mass actions here. Okay, so these are all additional features that we have. We can directly add, so these are all I was telling, like this will take us to a job in terms of internal job posting. It will take us to the applying page of the job.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is how search report works. And do you have any questions on this?
No.
Okay, great.
So usually we'll get for search report requests only from within the organization. Like if a manager wants to, need any comparison or need any data for the internal positions or such.
So comparison, we will proceed with the transpose report.
So this one, if they want to look for any internal job positions or anything, they'll look for the search, right?
Yeah, internal job. See, in most cases, if you ask me, there are two different aspects. Like one, if you are going to become an implementer, right? Workday implementer. In that case, whatever business asks, you will create reports accordingly. Right. Second thing, you will be working as an employee, like kind of a captive structure, and then you will help the business to build reports based on your capability. It's called as internal capability, right? They have an internal capable person to build all those requirements as well. So it purely depends which position you are in, what role you are going to take up, like that. Okay, so sometimes the business, so when we say if you are an implementer, then the business will say that I wanted to implement recruitment module, okay, and there will be a functional consultant and the business analyst to look into the structure of that organization recruitment model, and then they will identify the fields and the data that can be prepared based on the setup that the company is looking out for. And then they will come to you and say that, hey, I need this, and probably it would be great if you could create a similar structure like this, and then you can start building it. Or in the other scenario, right, if you are working as an employee and you are not part of the implementation team, then in that case, what you can do is you can probably I mean, find out some of the new methods to build reports, and then you can probably show it to the team that there is an option like this. Maybe it would be great if you wanted to roll it out.
Okay.
So it purely depends on the situation, whether if you wanted to show it and get the management to follow, or you work based on the requirement.
Okay.
So since you are getting familiar with all these terms, now you will know that whenever there is a new functionality or something comes in, now you know that, okay, there is an option, let me try to do this, so that the management, it would be helpful for the organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me try to find something. Okay, so what I was trying to do is I'm trying to get into an advanced report to show you that we can also add an facet filter on that, right?
Okay.
So this is an advanced report that you can see on the report type, and this uses index data source, worker for HCM, all workers, meaning it also includes both active and terminated. See, as a
Okay.
report writer, you should be more familiar with this data source, because that would be the challenging part on building a report. Once you identify the appropriate data source, then you are done. Then you can do all magics, etc. Right? But identifying the correct data source is a key thing.
Okay.
So that's where we have to see what is the requirement, which place that they are looking out for. If they are looking for a worker related information, or if they are looking out for an compensation related, or a business process related, or a talent related. So you have to narrow down, and based on that you have to use the data source.
Okay.
So now you can see there is, in the advanced tab, you have a facet options, right? And we have added a couple of facet filters here. So let me try to run this report. So this hire date to field, by default it has picked today's date,
Yeah.
or maybe the date, right? So the reason is we have hard coded it. We have added a field to look into today. So now see, this is an advanced report, right? This is not a search report, but you can see all this search you can do. You can narrow down the results here, right?
Yeah.
So mostly, the HR team or the analytical team would probably prefer to do a filter search, that they wanted
Yes.
to narrow down the search. So this will give a quick overview. And
Okay.
wherever you see this chart symbol, you can convert the data into chart as well.
Okay.
In this way, you can, the HR team just can play around and see, okay, yeah, let me just look into the people who are in this age. and then you can see those. So again, you have to give the search. So this will not save this. When you click this chart option, this recording feature will not save. You have to keep
Okay.
giving again and again because you haven't enabled this feature on the definition of the report. You
Okay.
made this report as a table. That's where you are not seeing the chart. So every time you have to manually change.
Okay.
If I change the output here to chart and table, then obviously that will show up there.
Okay.
So search report can also be used here. So that is another option that I was about to say.
Yes.
Okay. So the next is the trending report. We might probably need some more time on this. So let me give a quick overview about this, and probably we can do a demo in the next session, right?
Okay.
So the trending report allows you to report and analyze trended workers like headcount and attrition over a period of time, right? So basically, when an organization tries to see a data over a period of time, like for the last 12 months or the last 4 years or last 2 years, in different aspects, like if they wanted to compare the data during a specific period of time, and you can report by each year or each month or each quarter or the last 12 months as well, right? You can show the data in a different format also. We have those functionality within Workday, which will help us to filter down and modify the report accordingly. So let's look into this sample report. See, this is a trending report. Again, we have the option to add the facet filter, right?
Yes.
So you can see, so the data source should be indexed.
Okay.
Otherwise, you will not be able to add the facet filter.
Okay.
It's not only for search report that you should have the data source as indexed. Even for the facet filter, your data source should be indexed.
Next. Okay. In order to retrieve the results faster.
Exactly. You have to use index data source.
Okay.
So this is mainly, see, in simple terms, what an index is on your laptop or desktop, you will have multiple folders, right? And if you
Yes.
wanted to search something on the folders, normally it would take time. That's why there is an option called indexing. So you can index, what it will do is, it will give a number to that specific field. So it will keep adding 1, 2, 3, 4 like that for each and every field. So that when you hit that number, it will automatically go and pick that value, and then it will show it immediately. So that's where in an older system, so nowadays I think Windows or desktop automatically do indexing. But previously in the olden age systems, you will see you have to manually index. That would take time also.
Okay.
So that is the main reason for indexed. Using the index report to get a quick report. So this is a trending report. You can see we have shown it by years, like 18, 19, 20. So I wanted to compare my last 4 years. How was the headcount during the last 4 years? And what is the full-time employees? So this is the total employees. This is the full-time employees, right? In most cases, it is same. So here you can see there are 2054 employees, out of which only 2050 are full-time employees. Similar way, here it's 524 full-time employee. FTE means full-time employee.
Yeah.
It's only 520. So in that way, you can show multiple data for multiple years, right?
Yeah.
Again, if you wanted to look into, let's say, fixed term, how many we have fixed term? See, it is narrow downing our search. Or let's say how many temporary we have. See, each company will have their own set of employee types. Even though some of them are standard, the company can decide which and all they wanted to use. Not all the fields that you see it on the GMS tenant would be there on the original company's tenant,
Okay.
right? Because GMS is a testing tenant wherein you will have so many information in it.
But this information is fake, right?
All these information are dummy data. It's not a
Yeah.
real data.
Yes.
Yeah, but in company, you have to be in a real organization. You have to be careful before you showing up any data, because people might not have access to view it. As a report writer, you will be having access, but an end user or customer may not have access to view the sensitive information such as compensation, grade, age, gender, date of birth, etc. So in that case, you have to be very careful before you share any report with them.
Okay.
So sharing is also acceptable, because sharing means you are getting into the report, you are going into the report definition, you are going into share option, and then you are adding their name. So there are different options. You can share it with everyone, or you can share it with a specific group. Even though if you share it with everyone, right, the report, if they are going to run, it will only work based on their access.
Their access. Okay.
Their access, right? It will not run based on the person who created this report. So in that way, you are safe. But suppose if
So
you are
unless
going to
we are
study,
using our own system or we are just screen sharing it, we have to be careful.
yeah. Otherwise, the second option, which is risky, is scheduling this report. There is an option that you can schedule this report.
Yes.
If you schedule this report, it means you are generating the data and you are sending the data to end user.
Okay.
So whatever data that you will be able to see, the same data that the end user will also see. So which is risk, right? Because you do not know whether the end user have access to it. So that's where all these proxy things will come up. So for example, if you wanted to, so mostly the end user will reach out to us, the report writer, only when they do not have access to data, right?
Okay.
Or else if the business comes, then it's a different story altogether, right? So when you are scheduling it, you have to be mindful that you should not share any data without appropriate approvals as such. That depends on organization to organization.
So how do we know if they have access or not when we are scheduled? Sometimes we are supposed to schedule a certain report and we are scheduling that report. Then the other persons will have access to all the sensitive data even though they don't have access. So what are we going to do at that certain point?
So what you can do is you can proxy as that person. Okay, let me try to. So now I am trying to get into a different name, different person, right?
Okay.
There is an option called proxy. You can proxy as an individual.
Okay.
This cannot be done on production. Proxy will not work on production. Proxy will work only on testing tenant.
Okay.
Which is sandbox or implementation tenant.
Okay.
Right. So you can do before. See, what I would suggest is the best practice is you should not end up creating any reports in production unless you are confident. You should only start building the reports in sandbox or implementation tenant.
Okay.
Right. So now I can do a proxy. I will proxy as this user. Now I am now acting as this user. And then we did create a new report, right? Let me search. Compare team, right? We have built a so this is not the compare team report that I built, right?
Okay. Yes.
My compare team is a totally different report. This is a standard report, right? So in that way, you know that, okay, this user do not have access. Because two things, you haven't shared that report. If you share it, then this user will be able to see. So proxy is the best way to identify. So start proxy is the task. You can start proxy.
So we can go to their profile and see if they have access to it or not.
You can proxy as them and then you can run and see whether if they have access. By looking into the profile, it would be difficult to say whether if they have access or not. But by proxying them and then running the same report will help us to know whether if they have access to the data or not. Right?
Okay. But while
So-
we are proxying us, we don't have access to any of their data or reports, right?
No. If you're proxying, you can literally act like them.
Oh,
You can see all the data that they can see.
but isn't it a security issue when we are doing that? Like the other
See,
person's
mostly
sensitive
when
data
you're
will-
anyway, it's a testing tenant first thing. And if you are
Okay.
having more, and if you are having a proxy access, then which means you have access to all the data within the tenant.
Okay.
Okay, not everybody will get that proxy access.
Proxy access. Okay.
Okay, only if you have global access, then you can get the proxy access, or else your proxy access also will be limited.
Okay.
That you can probably get more insights about that security stuff on the security training. So there is a separate
Okay.
training on Workday for security. That would give a
Okay.
broader information about how security works, how user based security works, how role based security works, etc.
So does a reporting analyst need to know about the security part? I mean, all
Definitely
the
report,
detailed security part?
not the detail, at least they should know the basic securities. It depends, see, completely depends. Some organization, they will hire a person who should have both reporting and security. In some organization, they will hire two different person, one for reporting, one for security. But it's always good to
Okay.
get our hands into multiple areas within Workday, so that you don't need to depend on someone to validate. So, for example, let's. Okay, I think we are running short of time. We can probably discuss more about this during our next session.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, bye.
Thank you.